Hi guys, want to talk to you about um, life and death. Something that I've taken some notes, actually, some pointers that I really want to make sure I cover. Um, why am I talking about this today? Well, I got news today that a mentor, a dear mentor friend of mine, who had been quite ill for um, better part of a year, passed away earlier this evening, and she went peacefully. And I know for sure that she's in a better place. Um, but it just, made me think. And of course, Kate Spade just got that news, about her committing suicide, and she's crossed over, hopefully yesterday, and just kind of made me reflect on, life and death. And so, want to share my 2 cents, and hopefully that will bring value to whoever's watching. Um, it's the impermanence of life. We all live, and the inevitable welcome arms of death, right? We're all going to die. Anything and everything that lives is going to die. Simple as that. And yet, we don't quite want to, hey, Rhonda, we don't quite want to, really think about death. Most of us I know quite a few people, that are afraid of dying. Um, and again, no judgment, just an observation. Many people, most people, live as if, we're not going to die. We're going to live forever. And yet, do we truly live, right? And what is the value of a life lived? So that's kind of what is going on in my head right now. So I'm thinking, a lot of us, let's talk about Kate Spade. I mean, married, to her husband, beautiful 13-year-old daughter, all the success in the world, living her creative, life, billions of dollars worth, right? Well recognized, well celebrated around the world. I'm probably the only woman on the planet, well, at least in America, who didn't own a Kate Spade, bag or something because I'm not a name brand person. But if I was, she sounds like something I would. Her stuff is pretty cool. But I was talking to my colleagues at work and my supervisor at work today, and of course, I'm a social worker. I work in a hospital, and I deal primarily with mental health. That is exactly what I do. Um, and I myself have suffered and lived with depression, and and I've been on medication and been off medication and been in therapy and really overcome a lot of stuff. I mean, shit, man, life happens to all of us. No one's immune to it, right? And I'm not immune to it either. But we were talking about how Kate Spade, clearly from what her family is sharing now, is she suffered from depression, maybe bipolar, who knows. But the problem is, the sad part about it is that she didn't want to get help. She was repeatedly, they tried to take her to some of the best, wherever mental health, places in LA where the rich and famous go, and she didn't want to go, and what's coming up now is, why didn't she want to go? Because she didn't want the perception of being perceived as not, perfect, not healthy, not normal. And yet, what does her death tell us, right? Um, so, I think that's this whole, idea of wanting to impress people, wanting to, live to impress other people, which is what a lot of us do. I love my mom, but God, my mom gets on my case all the time about the way I dress, right? She hates my dresses. I love my dresses, right? And yeah, I order them from eBay and I love them. And guess what? I can't tell you how many people have started ordering those dresses from eBay. And yet my mom is going to like hate that I'm even sharing this. Hey, Brenna, what's up, hun? Um, and, for my mom, it's very important. It's dress in a dress. She comes from the old school of, it's important to present yourself in a certain way. And I think I present myself just fine because I clearly don't care what people think of me, or what they talk about me, because to me, I find it amusing when somebody actually wants to spend their valuable time discussing what I'm wearing or not wearing, or how I'm carrying my hair, or how I've got tattoos and, whatever, like, if that's important to you, then more power to you. I don't care, right? But I understand, I respect where my mom's coming from. So for her sake, to make her happy, I'll make sure I change into appropriate clothes for the most part every now and then when I'm going to Jamaica for service. But at the end of the day, I'm living for me, right? I'm living my truth. I'm living, I'm not here to impress anyone. I'm not here because at the end of the day, I die. What do I take with me? And what do I leave with? Right? What do you take with you? What did Kate Spade take with her? Nothing. Her billions of dollars. What did Steve Jobs take with him? Nothing. Right? What did my amazing mentor, what did she take with her? Nothing. She did take her deeds, right? That's what you take with. So, my mentor was someone that served tirelessly. She was a nurse, she was a social worker. When I met her 22 years ago, she was the chairperson of the Social Welfare Board in Dallas. I started serving with her. And I know, I've seen the work she's done, and I know the impact that she's made in people's lives. And I heard stories, and I went back to visit and spend a day with her. I don't know if it was 6 weeks ago. And I'm so grateful I did that. Had an amazing time with her in Dallas, in the nursing home, doing mani-pedis, talking. She was in and out of, sort of, she kept passing out and taking a nap, and she was tired. And there were moments she was lucid, there were moments she was not. But it was good time. I'm grateful for that. And, as she passes away, I got a call from someone that we served together informing me that happened, and I spoke to the husband. This is a woman who was not the most beautiful, attractive woman. She, she wasn't the richest woman. She wasn't the most famous woman, but man, did she make an impact, right? Absolutely, Farhana. It's the impact that she made on people's lives, without any recognition, without wanting any award, without needing, any, oh my God, any pat on the back, exactly. She served. She used her life to serve. Whether she was paid for it or whether she wasn't, a lot of it, she wasn't paid for it. She was always available for people. She always went out of her way to make other people's lives better. One of the most intelligent, compassionate people I know. And I think that's the legacy she leaves behind, right? And that makes me wonder, right? How do I want to be remembered when I die? And I think that's a really powerful question for each of us to ask ourselves. How do I want to be remembered when I die? Right? What will people say about us behind, when we die? There's another thing going on in the news right now, if you haven't seen, about, I think it's a 58-year-old and the sister, grown kids, right? The mother passed away. They wrote this obituary talking about how, she cheated on their dad with the brother, and she was, I guess, abusive, whatever. The point is, it's sad that that's how they remembered her, and again, no judgment, on what she did and what she didn't do. That's not the point. The point is, how do you want to be remembered, right? And so life is short. We are not promised tomorrow. I'm not promised that I'm going to complete this live feed. Literally, I literally could die in the next second, right? And yet, we pretend and we live as if we have forever, right? So here's a suggestion. First of all, stop judging, okay? Stop judging other people. Mind your own freaking business and live your own life, okay? Worry about what you're doing or not doing versus what somebody else is doing. Don't worry about what somebody else is wearing. Don't worry about what somebody else, what tattoos they got, who they're dating. Are they straight? Are they gay? Are they rich? Are they poor? People, life is too short, right? Live your own truth. Live your own life. Create a bucket list. Go on the vacations that you want to go on. Spend the time with the people that you want to spend the time with. Tell the people you love them. Follow your dreams. If you wanted to paint, or if you wanted to, do art or whatever it is you wanted to do it. Because at the end of the day, the regret is not whether, we had enough or we didn't have enough things. The regret is going to be, because they've done studies about people at their deathbed. And what they've realized is, when they've asked people, what do they regret most when they were dying? And in that moment, people said they didn't have regrets about what they didn't own or what they didn't possess or whatever. They regretted everything they didn't do. That's what they regretted, right? So live your life, right? Live your life. Go get that tattoo. This whole thing about tattoos, I was going to do it in another talk, and I'm going to do it now. Physical body, it's ink, it's paint, it's personal expression. At the end of the day, tattoos are very personal. They are meaningful. They're not, tattoos are not for anybody else but for the person getting it, right? Tattoos are not easy to get, first of all. So, and at the end of the day, to me, my body is going to stay back here anyways. I'm a soul having a human experience. I'm a spirit. I'm a soul with a body, not a body with a soul. So what difference does it make if I'm tatted up from, top to bottom or pierced? And because all of that stays, none of that matters. What matters is, how did I live my life? How did I treat other people? How did I make other people feel? What difference did I make in people's lives, right? Let's not, let's not get caught up in the superficiality of appearances, people. Let's look beneath that, and let's look at the heart. Let's look at the soul. That's what's important, and the other thing I'm going to really talk about is, health, the quality of life, and being alive versus death, right? So with my mentor, she had been in and out of the hospital and nursing homes and ICU for the last, God, what did her husband say today? 100 and plus days over the last, how many months? 6 months, 8 months. Like, she'd been very sick. And she had 2 good days at home, and then she fell out of her bed, and she had to be, they did CPR on her, and long story short, she basically was on, she was on life support, and her husband did the right thing, along with consulting the 2 grown sons she has, and they decided to let her go. And I think that's important, because even though, and he explained it so beautifully, he said, even though you take her off the machines, there's still no guarantee when she's going to go, right? Because ultimately, that's in God's hand, right? It's not in our hand. And it could be minutes, it could be hours, it could be days, he said, So he said he held her hand, and 12 minutes is how long she was before she passed away. And I just, I think, if we are in a situation, if I'm in a situation where, I know that I wouldn't want to be kept, alive artificially. And I definitely, would encourage people to, this is an individual journey of a person, of a soul. Let's not be selfish and keep them trapped in their body, because at the end of the day, it's not our decision or their decision. I mean, it's God's decision ultimately. Anyways, let me quickly read the comments. There's a bunch of comments here, and I appreciate you guys. Farhana, you've said some stuff. Let me read what you've done. She said, it's interesting. It's the impact you make on the world. It's the impact you make in people's lives. That is what you take with you when you return home. Absolutely. Karma, right? It's the karma. And nothing material, all service. Yep. And Farhana says, she was an instrument of God, allowing God to work through her to do the work he wished to do for people. Yeah. And we had such a beautiful day with her, right, Farhana? I mean, that was the second time that you and I had met. And that was the first time you met her, and you came and you spent, a few hours with us, and we did the live feed from the nursing home. You did Reiki on her. I was doing theta healing on her. We just, I did the mani-pedi on her. I just hung out, laughed, talked. I mean, it was a beautiful, beautiful time. Let's see what Rhonda says. Will we care anymore when we are dead? Live with integrity, and they will take what they need from your story. Absolutely agreed. I want to say something about tattoos. People have told me that my tattoos are disrespecting the. Oh, wow. Farhana, you wrote a book. Body. Do you want to come on and talk about this? Let me see. God has given me. She says, okay, I want to say something about tattoos. Farhana says, people have told me that my tattoos are disrespecting the body God has given me. They tell me that I'm supposed to return to God the way I came. And since I didn't come with tattoos, I'm already rolling my eyes. I should go without them. My response has been, I don't think God is concerned about my body and tattoos because no one body remains the same. We age. We may have scars. We may have losses of gained weight. What should return home the way it came is our soul. Beautiful. Yes, Farhana. And that is defined through our words, our actions, our deeds. Return home with a clear soul, with a clean soul, not a clear body, a clean body, tattoo-free body. Yep. Got it. All right. Beautiful. Yes. Yeah, people, in conclusion, I just want to say live and let live. Live your own truth. Um, don't get so caught up in religion, because it doesn't matter if you are going to, your mosque or your church or your synagogue every single day. If your heart is not pure and you're not clean and you're not living a life of service and you're not living God's truth, then it doesn't matter, if I attend service every day or I don't, right? I don't think, like Farhana said, I don't think that's what God's looking at. I think your intention and why you do what you do is important, and I am truly, truly, truly blessed to know some incredible people in my life who are just, you know, amazing, role models, and they actually live their truth and they live a life of service. And, I'm grateful. I'm blessed. Anyways, thank you for listening. Love and light, and take care. Bye.